Good evening, Tigers, and welcome to 23 News. I'm Ashlyn Green.
I'm Bethany Cates.
And I'm Naya Evans. It's time for this week's Mizzou News to Know.
Sexual violence at MU remains a topic of widespread conversation following a number of recent sexual assault cases on campus. Many students have participated in recent weeks demanding meaningful change in the area, and one aspect of campus that has been subject to those demands for change is Greek life. Many members of fraternities on campus have heard those demands for change and share their concerns themselves, and they've committed to work toward meaningful change. 23 reporter Naya Evans has more on the story.
Over the last few weeks, countless Mizzou students have received email alerts regarding the Title IX cases that have occurred on campus. I went around and interviewed IFC members to ask them how they feel about all the backlash they are getting and what they plan to do different.
After the abundance of sexual assault and drugging cases, Mizzou was forced to shut down social events for IFC organization. Many of the members of the IFC community felt outraged by what is happening in many fraternities on campus.
I was pretty disgusted. Personally, I don't have a tolerance for anything like that, and I don't stand by anything of that nature.
Many fraternities took drastic but needed measures to keep the attendees of their parties safe.
If we're having a party, we hire professional bartenders who look after the drinks. We have sober monitors who won't touch any alcohol or any other substances that night to protect the people in attendance.
Making sure to cover drinks with the roofing problem. Don't let any of the girls go alone. Make sure they're always having a buddy. Watch when the drinks are being poured carefully, if that's the scenario, and serving open drinks.
Not only did they make sure to educate their new members,
we have lawyers come in to the house that are alumni that come and speak to us about just respecting people and their boundaries and their bodies.
But during their 2-week suspension,
we didn't party during that time or anything.
When the protests arose on campus, it was a wake-up call for the IFC community.
The protests were warranted.
We were like, hey, so clearly, if it wasn't already obvious how big of a problem it was, no events, and we got to sit down and think, what do we need to do as a fraternity to be allowed to have events again.
IFC organizations are even showing their support to end domestic violence.
We had an event where we had our proceeds, we had a concert, and the proceeds went to True North, which supports the survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault.
And Greek Life members want everyone to know.
Obviously, being a part of Greek Life, you don't want to hear it, but we support what's true, and the truth is that, there's a big problem there, and there are links with Greek Life, and we want to change that.
Naya Evans, MUTV.
Thanks, Naya, for covering this story. The week of October 11th through the 15th was celebrated on campus as Coming Out Week, a chance for LGBTQ+ students at MU to be celebrated for who they are. Many different events were held on campus for Coming Out Week by the LGBTQ Resource Center. One of the most prominent Coming Out Week events was the Queer Fall Fling, a night of music and games where everyone was free to be truly themselves. For more on this event, visit our website, mutv.missouri.edu, to read further coverage from 23 News reporter Sarah Voiles.
Thanks, Sarah, for covering this story. And finally, many advocacy organizations hold fundraising events in order to raise the money they need to operate. Usually these events are fairly ordinary, like a dinner or a concert, but this past Saturday, the Stop Human Trafficking Coalition of Central Missouri got a little more creative. They, along with Columbia First Nazarene Church, hosted the 3rd annual Kamanaz Car, Truck, and Bike Show. Auto enthusiasts from all across mid-Missouri were in attendance to admire the many vehicles on display, with all funds from the events going to the coalition. For more, visit our website to read further reporting from 23 News reporter Leonardo Cuevillo.
That concludes this week's News to Know. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at MU23 and visit our website at mutv.missouri.edu. I'm Ashlyn Green.
I'm Bethany Cates.
And I'm Naya Evans. Thanks for watching, Tigers, and have a great week.